Hey, what's going on everyone? Moose here, and today I want to talk about a product that I've had for about 3-4 weeks, and I really wanted to give it a good testing before I brought it to you guys. But stick around because we're going to talk about it coming up next. All right, guys, so here we have it, the Jack Daddy. Now, one thing about side-by-sides and doing side-by-siding stuff is the ability to be able to work on your machine, especially when you're off-road. And when I first got into this, I thought of all kinds of different stuff. I looked at scissor jacks, I looked at bottle jacks, I looked at, just standard hydraulic lift jacks. And the one thing that always kept coming up for me with those is, number one, I didn't really like the stability of the scissor jack. And then the standard, like hydraulic jack, I just felt weighed too much. And so I went on a mission, I went out looking, and I stumbled across tufftrailgear.com and saw this amazing product from them. And I reached out and I said, hey, I really want to give this a go. Would you guys be interested? And full disclosure, they did send me the product. And I've had a great time and opportunity to look into it. And here we have it. So enough yibba yabbing. Let's see what it actually does. So stick around. All right, guys, so here we have it. We have the Jack Daddy. It comes, you can actually get it with this mount, which I chose to do. I actually put this piece of pool noodle just over the top of this, just to kind of protect it. I don't know. Does it need to be there? I don't know. But either way, great mounting rack that they have here. I really do like it. Holds it really well, keeps it in all kinds of good working order. So we're gonna take this jack out like this. Now this is really the main part of the jack. I mean, it's really this simple. You can actually take this and extend it out quite a ways. They send you two of these. One is a little bit longer. It's the one that's up here. It's a little bit longer than this one, especially for those of you like me who run bigger tires. It definitely helps out quite a bit. The way that this jack works is, let me move this around here and I'll show you guys. It actually works off these ports right here, okay? So let me grab this other pin here and I'm going to show you guys how it works. So like I said, these are fully adjustable to adjust for how high you have to get this thing off the ground. That where I had it right there was probably going to be a little too much. For my front tires, just because of the way they sit, it does require a little bit more. I think this might be still a little too long, so I'm going to pop that back off. And fronts and rears are going to be a little bit different because of the suspension setup. And if you watch this video in its entirety after we demonstrate this, I'm actually going to show you guys how to install them. So you'll actually be able to see how this works in even more real time. Let me find that hole. There it is. All right. So now that we have the Jack Daddy on the ground, you can actually do this a couple of different ways. One way they talk about doing it is to drive the vehicle backwards. All right, so now that you have your unit actually put together, you'll notice that fronts and rears are a little bit different. But we're going to do a little demonstration here. You actually take this and go ahead and put it right into this locking area here. Line up your pin, put your pin through, and then you're gonna set this right in the ground just like that. And now I'm gonna go ahead and hop in the machine and show you guys how to get this thing off the ground. If you are on a little more like concrete, you can actually roll your machine right up on top. It's really simple. You can actually pull it, but because I decided to demonstrate this in the grass, it's a little harder. So you're going to simply put the machine in drive and roll up on it. Just like that. Wheels off the ground. And there you have it. The Jack Daddy. You take it anywhere you want, do whatever you need to do. Now you can actually work on your tire, whatever you need to do. It's up off the ground. The nice thing about this is it does connect to the actual shock mount, so it's gonna help to get this thing lifted up quickly to where it's really super simple to work on. You know, you're not gonna get kind of in the way, if you will. But stick around. I'm gonna show you guys how to install all 4 of these. They make them for a tremendous amount of machines, and getting it off is just as simple as well. I'll show you that real quick. Basically, just once you've done your maintenance, everything's taken care of, simply put the machine in reverse and roll back off. Now that everything's off, simply walk around the front again, pull your pin, time to put it away and get back to having fun. Stick around for the install. It's coming up next. All right, guys, so here we are with the Jack Daddy on the rear. I've got my rear shock bolt out. You know, these are pretty basic on the Can-Am, 18 mils. I couldn't find my 18 mil socket, so I just used a wrench and a crescent on the inside. To put these back in, though, for the Jack Daddy, you need, I have a 10 millimeter here. This is just a Allen head 10 mil on the ratchet. And then the bolt itself is an 18 mil. I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of blue Loctite. You probably don't have to. These are nylon nuts, but you know what? I mean, better safe than sorry, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and try to get this thing lined up. Looks like it's going right in. It's perfect. Just like that. And I'm going to take a little bit of blue Loctite, and I'll show you guys one of the fronts too. The rears are going to be both the same. I was just doing preventative maintenance while I was in here. Took my secondary off just to blow it all out, get it cleaned up. You know, living here in St. Helen, we have a lot of sand, so I was just doing some preventative maintenance with this. I'm just going to go ahead and, well, if I can, oh, I forgot, this is a pushy pulley. So I'm just gonna put just a little drop on there, just enough to hold it. Nothing major, you know. I'm not trying to, you know, get this thing to the point where, you know, I can't get it off. Especially doing shock maintenance, things like that. So we're gonna set our ratchet on here and just go ahead and tighten these up. I could have brought out power tools, and I guess technically I probably still can, and maybe that's a good idea. If we're gonna sink this thing on there, I might as well use a cordless ratchet here and just cinch it down. Then I can swap over and finish it. There we go. And that thing's pretty good and tight. I'm going to give it just a little bit more with the socket holding this. I am guessing, though, however, I probably, I think put it on there good. I want to loosen this up just a little bit because for my Jack Daddy, I actually want this to be this way. So I'm going to hopefully be able to get this to stay in that orientation for my pin on my Jack Daddy. There we go. Perfect. Okay. All right. So there you have it. This is installing the Jack Daddy on the rear shock mount of the 21 Can-Am Maverick. This should be good for, I'm guessing, 19 through current. I mean, most of the parts I buy for this are 19 current. So there's the rears. Let's move on. I'll show you one of the fronts. All right, guys. So here we are. We are on the front of the Can-Am Maverick Sport Max, and we are going to be swapping out our fronts. You know, one thing I want to talk about is safety. I don't hear a lot of people talk about it, but you know, when you're up on a jack, don't be afraid to put some jack stands. I actually got these from Harbor Freight, and I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but they do have flat tops, and I run those things nonstop. You know, you're yanking on this, and you know, heaven forbid the jack gives way. At least you know you're not going to get crushed. I need my legs. It's kind of important, and so you know, I don't necessarily want to, you know, lose a leg over something stupid that is easily preventable. I think those things were like 50 bucks, maybe less, but I liked them because they had the flat pads on them. You know, the undersides of our side-by-sides are flat, so you know, I figured, you know what, this is silly. I don't want to, what did I do with my other ruh-roh? I know it's around here. All right, we're gonna be looking for a bolt here in a second. All right, so we got this one. I would highly recommend saving these because you never know when you're gonna want to put it back. So this, the same way, you know, we're gonna push it in, push it through. You might have to just lift up a tad on your shock. You want this to be pretty parallel, and you'll be able to see that later. We're going to do a little bit of blue Loctite. You know, once again with the blue Loctite, I don't know, is it really necessary? I don't know, probably not. But, you know, I'd rather be safe than sorry. It's not a big deal to put this stuff on and be able to not have any issues. So go and run this in. Right when it gets just about tight, I just like to kind of center that up. Then we can use this on this side here, grab our wrench and snug this down so that it's not turning anymore. Get it nice and pinched in there. There we go. Oh, nice and tight. Good to go. So there you have it. Jack Daddy posts. And hopefully I've already shown you guys how to do this. But if this comes at the end of the video, then, well, now you know. And while you're in here, it's a good idea just to check your, you know, your CVs. You know, just kind of make, or your axles. Make sure that there's no cracking, no grease spun everywhere. You know, it's a good time to check your brake pads. Mine need to be replaced. However, I don't have new pins. And I already had a problem with one of the ones in the back. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to mess with it. I'm going to wait till I have all the parts, and then we'll tap them out and use a screw extractor. So definitely check out Jack Daddy and let them know, man. I mean, they're not sponsored, or I'm not sponsored. They did send me this stuff, but you know, they're not paying me for this review or anything like that. This is simply me telling you guys what I want to use. I've seen enough of the data on these things to know that these things are amazing. So with that being said, till next time, be good to each other, and God bless.